welcome back to Bunters Yard, and today we are going to be making some of these barrels for the layout. These are actually some of the other designs. Today we're looking at this one. This is the Castrol 00 gauge one. Woke up this morning, there was an order of 50 of these on eBay, so I need to crack on and make some of these, and I thought if I did the video and showed you and filmed it at the same time, it kind of encouraged me to get them done quickly and get them out to the buyers. So that's what we're going to be doing, concentrating on the Castrol ones on the 00 gauge. You'll see some O gauge in there as well, but let's crack on and take it away. So we start with these resin blanks that we print on the resin printers here, and there's you can see there's quite a few on that sheet. Fulfill a few orders. Once they're given their first wash, they go in the ultrasonic bath. That's just plain water in there, and that just gets off the remainder of the uncured resin, and then it's cured and dried. Now we're going to stick these on a card just to make them easier to handle. So just need to flatten off the bottom where the supports were, and a bit of double-sided tape on a piece of foam core. And you can see we just stick them on there, and we get 10 on a piece of card, and 5 for the O gauge. So I've given these a coat of grey primer from a spray can. It just covers really quickly, so it's much simpler seeing we're doing a quantity like this, and I'm sure you don't need to see what it looks like when I spray it with a can, because you've seen that before, no doubt. So our first colour, and the main colour for these are all going to be the Castrol brand. They're going to be green. Now this I'm just using this cheap sort of artist acrylic from the range I think that was from, and this just lasts forever, but it seems to be the right shade, so there's no need to get anything in particular, just what was to hand, and it worked. It's a little bit thick coming out the gun, so this is thinned down probably 1 part to 4 with thinners, or you can use water, whatever you choose if you want to use the same paint. But anyway, this is just what I've got. So it takes a little while. Once that's all done, because these are going to be weathered, we just want to add just a fade on. So I've added in some sand colour. Any kind of beige or yellow would probably work. I've avoided using white because white just makes it look like a mint colour, which I don't really want. In fairness, this probably isn't going to show at the end of it too much, because it's quite a subtle thing and there's more layers to go over the top. So for the band around the middle for the logo, these are printed on the computer, and they're printed on just a sticky photo paper, and we just need to cut them out one at a time, all 50 of them. And just peel off the backing, and then we can wrap that around the middle of the barrel. And that's it. This sticks pretty well with this paper. This is from Amazon, so it's not a brand name, but yeah, it sticks quite good, so quite pleased with that. And that's the gloss paper, in case you're interested, but it doesn't really matter which it is. So 1 down and 49 left to go, and jump ahead in time. A couple of coffees later, and there's number 50. And as I've been filming this, I've got another order for 25 just come in, so I'll crack on with those tomorrow. So that's our 50 done, and they need to go back on the card, so using the same marks where they were originally, and then we're just going to weather them up now So the first thing is we are going to add some dirt. This is like a dark earth or something. Now because we've got 5 sheets, we're not going to do one card, one sheet for each order. We're just going to do a selection. So I'll use so 1 or 2 of them will be heavily mudded, some will be rusted, and so on. And then they just go in a pot at the end, and I mix them about. And each one will it'll be a selection of 10 random barrels in each order. So this is a rust colour, just an orange, and then we're adding black as well to a selection to make them look, you know, burnt and oil stained, that sort of thing. And we're just doing this fairly randomly. There's no sort of scheme to this, no plan. They're just going to look as, I'll try and make them as random as they can, because they won't really ever look uniform. You have 10 weathered barrels and dirty barrels, they're going to look different. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. Some will be more rusty, more dirty, and some will be more oil covered. So once that's done, we're going to use some powders, and again we're going to be random across the each of the cards that we're using. So we're using a sort of mid-coloured rust to start with. And then a spot of yellow maybe. Looks a bit weird on there, but once it's lacquered in, it will look fine. It kind of dulls the colours down and mutes them a little bit, and they mix up a little bit nicer. And then we can use the black, and that would represent either soot if someone's set fire to the oil sitting on the top, or just oil runs, or just general dirt really, whatever the case may be. I say no particular scheme to these. And then we need to give these a lacquer. This is from the airbrush. This is the Vallejo polyurethane matte lacquer or varnish. And then our final stage is to add some real oil stains. So this is obviously not real oil. It's kind of an enamel, and it would dry with a sort of wet, patchy look, which is nice. And if you look on the top, there is a little hole where the oil would have poured out from. So we're going to concentrate around that, and we're going to do a random selection. We're not doing them all, and try and do them each a little bit differently. So concentrating at the top, there's going to be oil on the top around that pouring hole, and then running down the side, some to a more or less degree. These paints from AK, they come in different colours. You can get different colour oils and grimes, so they're well worth having a look. I'll put a link down the bottom to those, because they're worth looking. So just a recap, so we started off with a blank, which is that one, and then painted it in grey. That was just from the spray can. There's the green one. Once it's had the first coat of green, we need to apply the labels. And then we had the colours and the weathering powders, and then the final one with the oil runs down the side. And that's it, we're done. Thank you for joining us.